you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The storm is now making shore.
The Miami Hurricanes Watch with host Mike McCoy is on. The Watch is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe. Time for hardcore Miami Hurricanes talk. Here's your host, Mike McCoy.
What up? Am I live? Is this thing on? Yes, it is. What's up, everybody? How you doing? How's it going? Happy Tuesday. We're in November. We're in freaking November. That's crazy. I turned 39 on Sunday. Well, not Sunday, but on the 23rd. That's even crazier. Halloween was yesterday on a Monday. What did you guys do for your kids? Anything special? What's up? Good afternoon, well, good evening or good morning. You know, people, it's 2022. People watch this at different times. You're watching the Miami Hurricanes Watch. I'm your host, Mike McCoy. Thanks for joining us. After a winning Saturday, my voice is kind of raspy. I'm getting over a cold there. But I'm good, man. I hope everybody else's week has been treating them well so far. It's time to talk some football, man. Let's get right to it. We got 3 segments. Got Lavon Ponder joining us in the next segment. He's going to talk to us about FSU football. He played 4 games against FSU, went 2-2. We're going to ask him about FSU, what that week means. He grew up in Miami, went to Pace. I think it was Pace. I have it right here. Lavon Ponder did go to Pace, right? Lavon Ponder, yes, absolutely. Monsignor Pace, played safety, number 35. You guys should remember him. So Miami wins. Ugly, but I'll take it. Hey, look, you got to start somewhere, man. Say what you want about it. Go ahead. Say it. It was Mike. Oh my God, Mike. This, that. Jake Garcia. Oh my God. What's gonna happen if he plays? Oh Jesus, the O-line. Oh my God, Knighton and his fumbles. Oh my guys, I get it. I saw the same game you saw. Okay, but you want to know what I also have seen before? How many times have you seen these 2 very programs go at it when they look god awful? They look like crap. They don't look good. And it ends up being a hell of a game. That's why I think this rivalry, maybe I'm showing a little bit of my homerism. I don't care. I think at its peak, this is the best rivalry in college football. And I'm going to tell you why. Because in the West Coast, they want to watch Miami FSU. In the Midwest, they want to watch Miami FSU. In the Northeast, they want to watch Miami FSU. Oh, and guess what else? In the SEC, they want to watch Miami FSU. It's Miami FSU week. Hashtag beat FSU. Let's do it. Let's talk really quick about last week's game on the road at UVA. And boy, I don't know what my final score was. I do remember thinking that Miami would at least win by 10. The line was what, 2.5, 3 points? I don't know. But damn, I didn't think Miami would score no touchdowns for the second time this season, right? I don't know. I can't remember. I want to say the second time this season. I can't recall 100%. But 14-12, 4 overtimes. Jake Garcia, did you guys think that he lacked confidence in himself? The way I look at it, you could look at it that way. I'm not taking that away. I just want to look at the other side of the fence because maybe he was just like, you know what? I don't want to mess this up at all. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want Khalil to potentially drop it. I see the lane. Let me go for what I know works. And what I know works is my legs, and I'm going to go for the short touchdown. Get this, well, 2-point conversion. Okay, it was a fourth freaking overtime. And those of you that are not aware, after I think the second overtime, there's alternating 2-point conversions to go ahead and win the game. So that's what happened. Miami escapes with a victory in Charlottesville, minus their starting quarterback, TVD, whose status is up in the air for Saturday. So, what does it take for Miami to win this game? Definitely, he's got to start, right? Um, am I confident that Miami can win the game if Jake's starting? Yes, I do think Miami can win. Everything has to go right. Okay. I'm not saying Miami will win. Can they win? Yes, they can win. Absolutely, they can win. All right. I mean, we've seen crazier stuff, guys. Again, this, and I keep going into the rivalry game. I can't help myself. The closer and closer this game gets, it's weird how Miami FSU week starts. It starts kind of Sundays like unless it's like two top 10 matchups. I mean, two top 10 teams going at it. But since Miami's been in the dumpster and FSU isn't all that hot, they look better than Miami. I'll give you that. But it's just kind of, I'm not going to say hard to get up for, just not the same as if both programs are at the top of the mountain, so to speak, right? So, again, back to the game. Let me just go ahead and pull up. By the way, guys, the CFP rankings just came out. We will talk about that in the third segment. But really quick, man, I don't want to waste too much time because everybody knows, if you watch the game, everybody knows what happened. And I thought it was fun because you got to see how great the defense played. Shout out to Tyreek Stevenson saving the game twice for Miami. That hustle down the sideline in what was it, the second, maybe third quarter, where he ran down the receiver to nudge him enough out of bounds. I thought that was admirable. I thought that was a big deal. And then in overtime, I forget which overtime it was. Stuck with, he was beat. He was beat, right pylon, end of the back of the end zone, kind of before the pylon, but kind of like in the middle of the end zone, definitely on the right side of the field. And the receiver has the ball in his hands, and Tyreek just rips it through, incomplete pass. That's what do you want? Moxie, veteran Moxie. I liked it. I loved it. And so he's, big play there. Cam Kinchens gets beat on a play in the open field, one of the surest tacklers on the team, right? Gets beat. Defense was there. Play call was there. Still called the right defense. I think this was a third down, too. Just kind of a reoccurring theme for Miami's defense not being able to get off the field when they need to, especially when it's third and forever. But gets beat. But I think like the very next play, swats the ball away, and then he did it again, a batted pass, and I believe it was either the fourth quarter or overtime. That definitely would have been a big deal for Miami. And look, let's call it what it is, a spade, a spade. Miami definitely got lucky this game because UVA dropped some big time plays, and I think one of them was definitely a score in the end zone. Excuse me, I believe they're tight end, and he knew it because as soon as he dropped it, he dropped down to the floor, had his head all in the turf on the grass, kind of banging his fist on the grass. And listen, like I said earlier, I'm not disregarding the fact Miami escaped with a victory, but they escaped with a victory. 4-4, second in the ACC Coastal. And let me just go really quick and bring up those stats. And I want to get into some videos, may not get into all of them. Maybe I'll bring that up in the third segment, but I want you guys to hear about what Manny had to say about Rooster, about TVD, and about some other things that they were asked on Monday. So Virginia, 14-12, 4 overtimes. Garcia throws for 125. Parrish runs for 144, which was huge, okay? And the high man receiving from Miami was none other than Colby Young, I believe, for the third straight game, right? So let me put up the box score really quick. Team stats, and Miami was outgained big time because Brennan Armstrong threw for 208. Like I just said, Garcia threw for 125. He was also the leading rusher for Virginia. He ran 20 times for 67 yards. Miami doing a good job of holding him to a very decent average, okay, instead of him running wild, which Miami has had an issue with mobile quarterbacks, right? Paris, like I said, 25, 114. Their high receiving was Hollins. He had a catch for 64 yards. I think that was that play that Tyreek ran him down. It was. I thought it was a touchdown. As soon as I saw, he hit the pot on it, but he stepped out right before, and it was a good call by the refs. They didn't even have to review it. It went out. Both teams were horrible on third down. 5 of 17 Miami, 5 of 16 UVA. No team converted on fourth down. Miami didn't even go for it on a fourth down. UVA went for it once on fourth, didn't get it. Total yards 270. Miami didn't even reach 300. 273 to 327. I'll tell you right now, I don't think 273 is going to get it done against FSU. And they're not world beaters, but they've been playing better than Miami. It is. It's true. Um, did the passing numbers. Garcia was 15 of 32. Brendan Armstrong was 15 of 26. We did the rushing, and that's pretty much it. Turnovers, none. Time of possession, Miami won that category, which is important. It's going to be very important again this week. Okay, I think that's a way in which you help out Jake is time of possession, and time of possession means you're running the ball. Miami doesn't just need to go over 100 in this game to win it. They got to have a high yards per carry. Okay, because you can run for 100 all you want, but if you're running the ball 50 times, that 100 doesn't mean much. Okay, or if you're running the ball 30 times and you hit 100 yards, that 100 doesn't mean much. So, excuse me. But yeah, man. Listen again. How many times in this rivalry have you seen a bad? Most recent example. Let's take it. Last season, Miami was supposed to trounce, beat down, okay, shellac FSU in their house in Tally, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. 4th and 14 gets Manny fired. Here we are, right? 2018. I was at the 2018 game. You remember? Nkosi Perry to Brevin Jordan. Miami was down by 20 at the half, guys. They were down big. And I think FSU returned, it was either an onside kick or they returned something in the beginning of the second half, and it just made it that much worse, right? And so, listen, I've seen two bad teams play and it being an exciting game. I've seen one team be bad and one team be okay, and then the team that's not okay does not win. So Miami's margin for error is like this. Okay, I get it. And FSU's margin for error is a lot bigger, but for Miami to win this game, they're going to have to damn near play a perfect game. Can they play a perfect game? That's the question. I know most people out there are saying no, but hey, listen, I want to watch the game. I want to watch the game. Something tells me, and listen, you can call me out on it. You guys know my Twitter handle; it's right there. Call me out on it. I think that this is the game where the offensive line gets it. I think that a lot of units on this team get it. Okay. Shouts out to the special teams last week. Andy Borregales. What can you say? 4 for 4. 4 for 4 on field goals. How can I not bring that up when I was bringing up the box score? That was a big deal. But really quick, okay, just want to make sure it's Stanley's back. Stan, the man who masters the show, he is back. Thank you, Stan. So I let me go ahead and make sure that I am talking about the right one here. So yes, the biggest question going into the game, Jake Garcia, TVD, TVD, Jake Garcia. Guess who was asked about that? Okay, Manny. I'm sorry, Mario. I'm so sorry. I apologize. It will never happen again. Coach Mario Cristobal was asked about TVD's. I'm sorry. He was asked about Jake's first start. We'll talk about TBD later. But he was asked about Jake's first start and what he thought about it and, the ups and downs of the game. So here's Mario on Monday during the coach's availability, the Monday press conference where it's Mario and then it's Gaddis and then Steele's always last. Here's Mario when he was asked about Jake Garcia.
And he played hard, and his effort, his want to was there. He had some good moments, and he had some not so good moments. First real start, right, as a quarterback here, and collectively as an offense, we could have performed better and executed better to make his job a little bit easier. Also, so we were out of sync in the passing game. The run game started to show some real positive signs and some loaded boxes. Henry ran really hard. The offensive line blocked well, and as Cooper played a really good game as a true freshman. Got the tight ends did a really good job blocking, but there were opportunities to be had in the passing game, and we missed them. We missed our deep shots, and we missed them early, and we had connected on those in recent games. So I think Jake will improve upon that tremendously. He's a competitor. He works at it. So right back at it.
Coach, do you have an update on And you know what? Sorry about that, Sean. I should have told you just to let it roll. But as you can tell, he was asked about the availability or what's going on with Tyler. Everybody wants to know what's going on with Tyler because let's admit it, guys. For as much as we want to support the guys, Jake didn't look his best, and he's still kind of getting used to, you know, what it takes to win and being a starter and all that stuff. And like I said, FSU's been looking better than Miami has. So here is Coach Mario Cristobal talking about TVD's availability for Saturday.
Improving, he's looking better and better every single day. So we enter this week with preparing him to play, with preparing Jake to play, and preparing Jakari to play. In our minds, all three have. I know for sure Jakari's going to play some. He gives us some things on offense, and he keeps getting better and better. It's a shame the one ball he threw wasn't a good one because I think you're going to be able to see how talented he is and how well he can throw the ball. But as TVD continues to improve, we're very optimistic. Again, he looked great yesterday, looked great today. So we'll keep pushing that envelope, and we'll see where we're at come Friday, Saturday.
What is this?
So with that said, there is another clip. We'll play that later. Maybe in the next segment, maybe in the last segment, who knows? But got a special guest, Lavon Ponder. And Lavon, I got to tell you, bro, last week, Randall Throughill was on the show. It's what's supposed to be a 20-minute segment. He was on for a damn near hour. So you're kind of going on stage after Michael Jackson finished performing. Good luck. We'll be back right after this. We're going to talk with Lavon Ponder. We're going to talk to him about FSU, those 4 games, because he played against FSU 4 times in his career, went 2-2. We're going to talk about football, Canes football, FSU football, what this rivalry means to number 35. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back. You're watching Miami Hurricanes Watch on the 305 Sports Talk Network.
You're listening to the home for hardcore Miami Hurricanes coverage. This is the Miami Hurricanes Watch with Mike McCoy on the Sports Talk 305 Network.
Red Recover now offers a simple-to-use, professional-grade light therapy device designed to help your dog heal and live a healthier life. Red Recover emits red and infrared light therapy based on the same science that NASA developed, all in a soft, flexible housing pad powered by a convenient, rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Say yes to science and give your dog the care it deserves with Red Recover.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
You're locked into the only platform truly dedicated to South Florida sports. This is the Miami Hurricanes Watch on the Sports Talk 305 Network. Here's your host, Mike McCoy.
There he is. Lavon, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good. What's good?
Thanks for joining us, man. I really appreciate that. Lavon Ponder, Monsignor Pace High School, hailing from Monsignor Pace High School in Hialeah, 6 foot 218. He's a safety. Don't put him in a box. Lavon can hoop. He had some nice games on the hardwood at Pace. We talked some good basketball. Lavon can hoop. He's joining us today, number 35. Again, man, thanks for joining us. Everything good?
Yep, everything good, man. Just glad to be on.
Appreciate you, man. Always showing love. Never a problem when you come on. So thank you for that. So unless you've been living under a rock, man, not you specifically, just in general, there's kind of a big game coming up. And for me, I like to say that this is the best rivalry in America because people on the West Coast, people on the East Coast, people in the Northeast, Midwest, they always want to see FSU. and Miami, or Miami FSU, I should say. I'm not saying I don't like watching Michigan play Ohio State, but it's when both teams are at it, this is the rivalry
Yep.
that people want to watch. So,
Mhm.
I mean, growing up, Miami dude, 305 dude, how did that rivalry impact you, man? What did that mean to you when you signed up to play at the U?
Man, it was funny, man. When I was smaller, I wanted to play for FSU.
Woo, I didn't know that.
I was a Peter Warwick fan, man,
I
and
can't
Peter
blame
Warwick
you.
was my guy,
I
and I
can't blame
wanted to
you.
go to FSU. But I stuck true, stayed home, went to Miami, and man, that rivalry, man, it's something else, man. It's when you, especially going up to Doak Campbell Stadium,
Oh
playing
man,
up there. Oh man, it's one of those moments you just have to be there
I could
to feel
imagine.
it, man. I love it though. I love that rivalry though.
I could imagine, man. I could imagine. I mean, I'm not gonna do the tomahawk chop, but just watching it from the TV is impressive. Now, if you're on the field and watching everybody do that night game and you see the lights, that's gotta be like, damn.
I think I played Florida State every game except for one was at night.
Okay.
And up there at Doak, that's 05. I want to say 05. That's my first year playing against them because I redshirted in 04.
Okay.
05 playing against, man, and they up to me when everybody's doing it in the stadium, it looks like something about to come down on you. Everybody's doing it. Then the band is loud. You're like,
Oh my God, man.
what's going on? But yeah, man, it's nothing like it, man. It's nothing like it in college football. I tell everybody that. I
Okay.
was talking to a guy at work last week. He was like, "Yeah, man, Miami play Florida State next week." I like, "Yep." I said it's gonna be the biggest rivalry. It's the biggest rivalry I've ever been a part of, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Man, I just want to see how it is." I say, "Man, you got to go down there and
You
be
gotta
in it.
see, yeah.
You got to go out there and be in it. It's nothing like it."
Especially now that the OB, is no more.
Yeah.
And, I love Hard Rock, but with the way that the teams are at the moment, I think it's best for you to be at the game because watching it on TV, unless ends up being like a great classic game, it's not
Yeah.
going to do it any justice. So let's just review the history real quick. So for those of you that don't remember, Miami did beat FSU 6 times in a row. First one being Dorsey to Shockey. That was 2000 when they won 27-24. Chris Winkie was starting quarterback for FSU in that game. Obviously, Dorsey from Miami. And then they go up to Tally in the national title winning season, beat them down 49-27 and stop FSU's like 30-something game home winning streak. Come down to Miami, and this is the game where Willis McGahee caught that screen pass, 28-27. Miami wins that one. Then they go up to Tallahassee again, win 22-14. That's 03. We're up to 03 right now. Miami beat FSU twice in a calendar season during that 6-game win streak. The Orange Bowl, where Brock Berlin beat them 16-14. That's the only time I've seen Sean Taylor get ran over because Lavon Ponder can probably remember a guy by the name of Greg Jones.
Jones.
My God.
Biggest running back I've seen.
Oh, my God. That dude was a bull. Okay. I don't know what he was, but he was not human. Okay.
Nope.
Only time I've ever seen Sean Taylor get ran over. And then again, later on that year in 04, September 10th, 2004, Miami wins 16-10. Which one of those do you remember being the game? I mean, I'm sure all of them are memorable, but which one of those games sticks out to you? Well, actually, that's a 6-game win streak. 04 September. So 05, Miami loses 10-7. I think that's the one. Yeah, that is the one. That's game day was down here. And Sam Shields, I think he dropped the pass when Kyle Art they was trying to lead him out back in the end.
I think it wasn't Sam Shields because Sam hadn't got there yet. It was I think it was Darnell.
Ryan Hill?
No, Ryan Hill. Both of them was 06. Both of them came in 06.
Okay.
05
probably Jenkins then. Probably Jenkins then.
Might have been. I think it was Darnell.
Okay.
Yeah.
FSU wins that one. Then 06, they win it 13-10, but then Miami wins 07, 37-29. That's the one that Carlin McCarthy. That was a crazy game. Kirby Freeman steps in out of nowhere, hits DeLeon Farr in the back of the end zone, and that's what I'm trying to tell people. That was a game in which both teams were down. Nobody wanted to watch that game except for Miami FSU. And look, 37. There's supposed to have been no points scored in that game because both offenses were not good. Okay, and then you end up 37-29. That was crazy.
And
So which one of those games, the ones that either the one you redshirted in or the one that you played in, sticks out to you like, yeah, that was, or maybe even one of the ones that you lost? Which one was like, wow?
Game that sticks out the most is probably my first start against him 06.
Okay.
It was Drew Rutherford first start.
I know which one you're talking about, man. That's the one that our boy Brian Moreau fumbled the kick.
Oh, that was 05. That was 05. That was 05. He fumbled the kick.
That was 05. Oh, okay.
05 fumbled. 06 was down in the Orange Bowl. That was my first start against them because they came out in 4 wides and we went nickel package. And they was it was, I think that was, what's his name, Garvin, the cornerback for them, got the intercept late in the game and win it to seal the game. But yeah, we were driving. But yeah, that's the most memorable one. Probably, the most exciting one had to be 04 though. 04 with Sonoris and
oh my god, that screen pass, woof, that was big time. What year was that? That was when you redshirted?
Yeah, that's when I redshirted.
Okay.
I always tell every time I see Cromartie, I wanted to trip him on the sideline when he picked up the fumble. I was standing right there when he picked it up. He took off down the sideline. I wanted to trip him so bad. But I say, but yeah, I always mess with him on that one. But yeah, man, it's so many games that Miami State rivalry. It is nothing like it. Like I can't say it enough. It's nothing like it.
No, I believe you, man. I've been to several. Okay. I went to Dorsey to Shockey. I went to the one McGay. He caught that screen pass. I went 2018. I've been to a bunch of them. I went to a bunch during the golden years. You know, obviously I'm not gonna remember all of those because we lost them. Golden should have beat Jimbo at least twice.
Yeah.
At least twice, minimum. All right. But yeah, man. So listen, I'm going back and forth with some Twitter guys. They're calling me crazy, and I get it. It. Okay, because do I feel Miami can win? Yes, Miami can win. Now, what is it going to take for Miami to win? That's a different story. It's going to take a lot because, like I said, FSU's been looking better than Miami all year long. I get that. But what I want to ask you is, in a situation like this, right, where both teams are down, because you've been in the same situation where both teams aren't playing the same football that they want to, how is it that Miami gets up for this game? Because I know the coaches aren't telling them anything. I know the coaches didn't have to tell you guys anything. It's Miami, FSU. What happens when it's just because to me, from the outside looking in, it's just like a flip of the switch. Like, guys, we look like crap this year, but this is Miami, FSU. O-line got to play better. We got to tackle better. We got to run harder. Is it that simple? Like, what happens?
You flip a switch. Basically, that's what we did in 07. It was down here. We flipped the switch and went up there and basically we really dominated them that year. We were up most of the game and like in the first half, and then they came back. But we had the McCarthy fumble recovery, and it was crazy. But you got to just flip a switch and just hey, it's time to play. Is Florida State week? You know, it's different. It's different when it's Florida State week because you bring the speakers out. And it's blaring all over the practice field. You're like, man, can they please shut it off? But it's still blaring because they're going to bring their band. If it's home, if it's away, the band's going to be there. And they're going to play it loud. So, I mean, just flip a switch and get ready to play.
Because you're playing for pride, man. How many of those guys on the other sideline did you grow up with or played against in high school? Because, again, you're a 305 guy.
It was so many, man. I was Trevor Ford,
oh wow, I remember him, running back.
What's his name? J.R. Bryant. Man, it was so many different guys. Like, I remember me, Trevor, and J.R. were like, man, we're gonna go to Miami and be, the DC at Miami. And they both of them went to Florida State. So
hey, man, how does that happen? Like, okay, look, you wanted to go to FSU, that didn't happen, but the three of y'all saying, man, we're gonna go to Miami. So like, how does that? I mean, it's recruit. I'm not even gonna ask you that because recruiting is recruiting. Crazy things happen. So I get it, but my goodness, man, I can't. I don't know what to expect. You know, Paris ran the ball hard last week. Depending on if, he went over went over 100 yards. He ran for 113, I believe it was. Here it is right here, 114 on 25 carries. So one of my keys to the game is there's a bunch of them. Okay, Because again, Miami's room for margin is like this,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
FSU can afford to make some mistakes. Not they're not world beaters, but like I said, they're looking better than Miami. And
yeah.
so, other than the run game, what do you see that Miami has to do well to at least keep it close?
We got to win on the outside. They got two big receivers at
Oh
Florida State,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's their bread and butter right there. They go right to those guys when they need a big play. They go right to them. This who is it? Pittman and what's the other guy name? I can't
Johnny
remember.
Wilson,
Wilson.
Johnny
But
Wilson,
they go
6'7", man.
6'7". They go
Golly.
right to both of those guys when they need the big play. I watched the Louisville game, Florida State Louisville. It went to
Mm-hmm.
Wilson like 3 times in the red zone, and
Yep.
straight fade routes. It's you
Yeah.
gotta play,
Yeah.
and they know that's probably our weakest is on the outside right now because guys aren't playing up to their potential. So they're probably gonna go there.
Yeah. 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 What do you say? Is it stupid to say just match up size for size, or match up with your best corner on a 6'7" guy, even though your best corners may be 6'1" in Ivy, maybe 6'2"? But is it stupid to say, look, if we get in a situation where they might be throwing a fade and they're in the red zone, let's put James Williams out there because he is 6'5"?
Now you put Rick out there.
Okay.
Rick is he's an athletic freak, man. He could jump. He can
Okay.
go out there with him.
Okay, that's
So
fine. Because I'm thinking, maybe size to size, but I want to ask somebody to play because, I that's the first thing that comes to mind.
yeah,
But and then it's something else. I mean, they got a decent running back. They got a running game that can hurt you, and then their quarterback can run the ball.
yeah, and he's come along so much
He
since
has.
he he's been it. I don't know what it is they doing with him, but I guess they're finally going to his strengths. And he just
Hmm.
turned the corner a lot, and that's the surprise factor right there. How he plays, how he comes to play would determine as much as they
Oh yeah,
how
yeah.
far they go.
Yeah, that
'Cause
team goes as Travis Hunter goes, and on the year he's thrown for over 2,000 yards. Travis Jordan, I said Travis Hunter. Travis Jordan has thrown for over 2,000 yards, barely to be exact, 2,057, 14 touchdowns on the year. He doesn't turn the ball over, ladies and
nope,
gentlemen. 3 interceptions. Okay,
that's
has
one
been
thing he
sacked.
corrected. That's one thing he's corrected.
Yep,
Before he was a turnover machine.
yep,
He would turn the ball over, fumbles,
yep,
interceptions. He don't. He's changed that.
yep.
That's why they're a much better team right now.
Excuse me. So, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. You are listening to the Miami Hurricanes Watch on the 305 Sports Talk Network. I'm your host, Mike McCoy. That guy right there is Lavon Ponder. Has played in three of these games, been a part of four of them. So that's why he's on the show. He knows what he's talking about, and he's giving us some insight. How it is leading up to the week, what it's like to play FSU, and maybe what it's going to take for Miami to win. He's joining us now. Other team leaders for FSU, we were talking about their run game. Trayshawn Ward, 488 on the ground. Johnny Wilson has caught the ball for 603 yards so far this year. And again, Jordan Travis does not turn the ball over. 3 interceptions on the ground. He is FSU's fourth leading rusher with 215, up his long of 71 and 2 touchdowns. Miami has been doing a great job getting to the quarterback with four guys this year. At last
Okay.
check, they led the nation in that category, over 40%. Getting to the quarterback with four guys to have not having to send a fifth. Tell me what that does for the secondary. How does that help the secondary?
It helps them play. You can play a lot longer. You can cheat a little bit more. You can do lot more different things with your secondary. That's what I see still doing right now with the secondary is doing a lot more different things. Where you can cheat a safety over here or cheat a safety over there. You could drop
Hmm.
one down and make them play. In the slot, and it's just been a lot of stuff he can do with
Okay.
where we can just rush four guys. And Leonard Taylor,
Okay. Oh my God, what a beast that game, man! You can't say nothing bad about him.
you can't say nothing bad about him. You can't say nothing bad about him.
On the year, let me pull up his stats real quick because I got let me go back real quick. But I think he had like three, maybe four tackles for loss just last week alone. Okay. And on the season, well, actually, let me just pull up that game really quick versus Virginia, and then I'll go ahead and pull up his season stats. So defensively, Miami, here it is, full box score. Defense, Leonard Taylor. He was in the backfield. He had 6 total tackles. 3 of them were solo, 1.5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. That's an average of a tackle for loss per quarter. Dude was bullying that O line.
That's ridiculous. He's been on a PFF first team defense like two or three times this year already, and it's and he's basically in a rotation, and it's not like he's the main. He's in a rotation.
Yes,
That's amazing.
I think he had 30 snaps last week, so I mean,
take advantage of the snaps he gets.
Exactly.
Means he should have more snaps.
And that speaks to Miami's depth at the position. So maybe some good, some bad. Good that they got the depth. Maybe bad because he's not getting enough snaps. But I want to argue, like I said, Miami get into the quarterback, which is 4 guys. So, really quick before I let you go, man, were you able to look at the CFP rankings before you got on?
No, I haven't.
You want to take a guess as to what they are?
Go to say.
I'm talking about the CFP rankings. The college football playoff rankings came out today. You want to take a guess?
Georgia won.
So Tennessee's number 1, and I agree with that. Tennessee's number 1.
Look real good. Look real good. I got a thing about them, but I tell you after you give me the rankings.
Okay. Tennessee 1, Ohio State 2, which I don't necessarily agree with that. Georgia 3, Clemson is 4. I would have put Michigan in that top 4 somewhere. So what did you have to think about the top 4?
I was still isn't Georgia the defending national champion?
Georgia's number 1 in the AP poll and number 3 in the CFP rankings.
I guess it sets up to where they can play the number 2 team, which won't be a juggernaut, I guess. And
maybe they want to see Georgia, Tennessee at the end. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because as it stands right now, if it stays this way, Tennessee will wipe out Clemson 1 versus 4, and I think Georgia will handle Ohio State.
Yep. And my thing about Tennessee is nobody's challenged them on the defensive side yet.
Yeah, because it's not the same Alabama team that we're used to.
Nope.
The Alabama team.
They got running backs, but they don't have the running backs they had. So they couldn't control the game like they used to. And that was one thing. Tennessee hasn't been able to stop a running team all year.
I haven't paid attention to that. And that's saying something because Jahmyr Gibbs can ball. Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs is that dude.
Yeah. He couldn't but they were down. When you get down, you got to pass the ball.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
You get down, you got to pass the ball. So it's, I like them playing, but I don't think they were number 1. I wouldn't put them at number 1, but
you wouldn't put them at 1. Who's your number 1?
Georgia.
I don't blame you. I can't blame you for that.
Until you lose, you're number 1.
I hear that. So Georgia, for anybody that can't remember, 49-3 to start the season, beating Oregon. They beat Samford, shut them out. South Carolina, 48-7. Kent State, 39-22. Missouri beat Auburn, beat them down, 42-10. Beats Vanderbilt, 55-0. And Florida, 42-20. Haven't really played anybody, but guess what? We got a 1 versus 2 matchup this week, Saturday at 3:30 CBS. I'm pretty sure that's where game day is going to be. I can't remember what was the last time the 1 versus 2 matchup happened. It was probably Clemson and Alabama, for a title a couple years ago. But this is pretty much going to be their first real game of the season because Florida, they're on a downswing as well. So Auburn just finished firing their coach. Oregon, okay, I'll give them Oregon, especially to start the season. Those are always the toughest games. But who's your Heisman front runner right now?
A
lot of people saying Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker, yeah.
A lot of people saying Hendon Hooker.
He's just been what he's done in Heupel's offense is something nobody expected. Everybody expected him to be okay, but not as. If anybody remembers him at Virginia Tech, he was man. Look, it's a totally different quarterback. I don't know if he went to a quarterback group.
I didn't know he was capable of this.
Or just
I didn't know he was capable of. I was like, okay, Tennessee's getting Hendon Hooker. They ain't getting nothing. I'm sorry, I was wrong. But
that's one thing,
man.
He's been
Go ahead. What'd you say?
he's
Say it again?
been good. He's been good. That's a big thing with Tennessee. He's been good, so they've been winning.
On the season, let me pull up his stats real quick, and then I'll go ahead and let you go. So on the season, Hendon Hooker has thrown for 2,338 yards, okay, on 156 of 219 passing, 21 touchdowns. You want to guess how many interceptions he's thrown, Lavon?
Two?
One interception the whole damn season. One interception. And they throw the ball.
And they throw the ball. And my thing is he's not throwing to a spot. He has to throw to a guy. That's it. And
they got some receivers.
He got some receivers. He got guys who really came, who really
go up and get it.
Yep.
Yeah. Go up and get the ball. But listen, man. Thank you for your time. I know you got the kids in the background and dad life. You know, I get it. So anytime that you able to spend 15, 20 minutes on me, whatever, 50 minutes, an hour talking Canes football, FSU.
Oh man,
I truly appreciate it. Okay. I love talking to former players. I love it. And hey, it's basketball season, man. So we got to get some basketball talk going one of these days. All right.
The Bulls on tonight, right? They're playing the Nets.
Yeah, they're playing the Nets. You heard about Nash, right? You heard about Ime, right?
They were trying to hire him.
I laughed. I thought that was funny. I loved it. It.
One team suspended him, let him go. The other team was like, "Yeah, come on." One team trash, another team treasure. Yep. But Lavon, tell the family I say hello. Tell them I say thank you. Go ahead on and be a dad, and we'll keep in touch, man. All right, man.
I appreciate you. Baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
all right, ladies.
I got a prediction.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Got a prediction. Miami, 31-24.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We'll wrap later, man.
All right. Yep.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll stick around. Well, no, we're not going to stick around. We're going to take a break real quick, and then we'll come right back. You've been listening to Miami Hurricanes Watch on the 305 Sports Talk Network. I'm Mike McCoy, and I'll see you on the other side of the break.
You're listening to the home for hardcore Miami Hurricanes coverage. This is the Miami Hurricanes Watch with Mike McCoy on the Sports Talk 305 Network.
Red Recover now offers a simple-to-use, professional-grade light therapy device designed to help your dog heal and live a healthier life. Red Recover emits red and infrared light therapy based on the same science that NASA developed, all in a soft, flexible housing pad powered by a convenient, rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Say yes to science and give your dog the care it deserves with Red Recover.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
You're locked into the only platform truly dedicated to South Florida sports. This is the Miami Hurricanes Watch on the Sports Talk 305 Network. Here's your host, Mike McCoy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching Miami Hurricanes Watch on the 305 Sports Talk Network. That was fun. It's always fun talking with a former football player. I don't like to say former Cane because we all know the saying, once a Cane, always a Cane, right? All right. So Lavon Ponder, number 35, played safety, had some nice moments in his career here. Played FSU 3 times, redshirted that first one. Was a part of some heartbreak, some epic games. Again, You heard him reference that 37-29 game in which Kirby Freeman came in out of nowhere, cold off the bench, finds DeLeon Farr at Doak in the back of the end zone, right pylon, gets buried in the process. This is after Kyle Wright got hurt either earlier in the game or maybe earlier that drive. Can't remember. But of all people, Kirby Freeman, one of the not so popular quarterbacks in Miami Hurricanes history, pulls out a victory. And then Colin McCarthy seals it with a fumble recovery for a touchdown. That game was supposed to be a low scoring game, guys, because both offenses were less than impressive for the entire season. And that's what I'm trying to tell people now. That yes, that's not the case for FSU. They have looked better than Miami on both sides of the ball. I get it. But this is a game in which both teams are not where they want to be. So I'm expecting the unexpected. Okay, you heard him say, I think he said, what, 31-24? I can't remember what he said. He's expecting Miami to put up some points. I will not be surprised. And I won't be surprised if Miami struggles to get 17 because that's what we've seen. But you heard him say it. Like, crazy things happen in this rivalry. Crazy things happen in rivalries, period. One thing I am expecting to happen, and something just tells me that this O-line is going to get it. They're going to pull it together, especially if TVD plays, because they failed him 2 weeks ago by letting him get buried. They're not going to want to let that happen again, because if he plays this week, you keep him clean, he's going to play next week. You heard that squeak? I'm not over this cold. I'm sorry. That was like a puberty squeak. That's what that was. I'm sorry. It was, oof, that sounded terrible. But in any event, if TVD plays, that's just going to give a Walt Frazier walking out of the tunnel, in the NBA Finals, in the Knicks type of inspiration, type of boost. That's what I think is going to happen. I think, and then if that O-line plays well, we all know football 101. What happens if the O-line plays well with a really, really good quarterback off of a game in which one of the best running backs in the ACC went crazy with 4 yards a touch? Okay, you get that going, you make Tyler's life easy. Time of possession, that's how things happen. It's, it starts at the bottom and it builds. So am I asking for a lot? Probably, yeah, but I do think it's doable. Call me crazy. I've seen crazier. Again, thanks Lavon Ponder for joining us in the last segment. And so what I want to talk about, there was one more video that I wanted to play in that first segment. We only got to two of them. So again, this is Coach Mario talking, and he was asked about Jalen Knighton. Everybody wants to know about Jalen Knighton and what's going on with his fumbles. And, he was also asked about Wayman Steed, number 17 linebacker. So take a listen.
Steed is hurt, and his injury is a little bit more significant. Jalen Knighton is healthy. He's doing good. Had a good week of practice. We expect him to have another good week of practice this week. He's a good player. He's done a lot of good things for this team. We stuck with him through good times and bad times. Sometimes the ball was on the ground. Sometimes he ran hard. We don't hold that against anybody. He's a hard worker. He's going to get his touches. He's a good football player, and we look forward to having him have a great week.
How do you guys feel about that? Knowing that he's had 3 key fumbles in games which ended up, not going Miami's way. I can't remember if the fumbles that he had were all in Miami losses, but I know it was like, oh my God, one of them was in that UNC game. If my memory serves me right, I believe it was on a 4th down in which he had already picked up the first down on the ground, and he fumbles. I believe it was a late game fumble, and that kind of sealed the fate for Miami. So how do you feel about that? I'm not one to yank. Like, if I was a coach, I'm not one to yank a guy, because you don't just yank a guy because he has a bad game. You don't yank a guy because he has 2 bad. If it's a trend, and that's kind of what I feel like Jalen's going through right now. But listen, the coaches are sticking with him, and you heard him right there. He said he has a good week of practice, and they stuck with TVD when TVD was going through his early season struggles. And then look, he has a big game against, what was his big game against UNC in a losing effort, but he threw for damn near 500 yards, right? I think it was the second most in school history, which, by the way, Stephen Morris, I believe, has the most yards in a game passing in Miami history. I believe that was against NC State, threw that winning touchdown to Philip Dorsett in a crazy game. NC State's secondary sucked that year. And ironically enough, they were supposed to have a guy in the first round, a projected first rounder at cornerback. I think he wore number 1, forgot what his name was. In any event, Uh, yeah, man. That's you heard coach. So expect Jalen Knight to get some carries. Steed isn't playing, so that's more Wesley Bassane who has been coming on. You've also been seeing more of Caleb Johnson transfer from UCLA. I thought he was going to play a lot more than he has been. We've seen him more in the last few games. So look for him, number 40, big dude, thickly built, especially up top, thumper. Okay, but he can move laterally. Nice player, good skill. So listen, time of possession, a semblance of a running game, and by semblance of a running game, I don't mean just 100 yards of carry. You got to run for at least 4.5 a pop. You got to make them respect the run, no matter who's back there at quarterback. Because if Miami's one dimensional, that's it. Especially if Jake is the quarterback, you don't want to mess with his mental. That you can't. It will be. I don't want to talk about it. Listen, they're still pissed from the last time that they came down here in 2020. All right, and Miami put up a 50 burger on them. Remember, Coach Van Dyke's tweet? He literally tweeted 50 emoji burgers, 50 burger emojis. That was hilarious, or 52 of them. And then he went over to McDonald's and he asked for 50 burgers. I remember he tweeted it. I don't know if you guys remember that. He asked for 50 burgers at the drive-thru, and the lady looked at him like, "Are you serious?" And he was just cracking up. That was funny. But listen, man, the defense is gonna have to get off the field on third downs, okay? Because that's a reoccurring thing, and it's a problem. It's a problem. There goes that puberty squeak again. Sorry, I'll spare you guys. But what do you guys think needs to happen other than TVD play for Miami to have a chance? I mean, go ahead and put it in the chat, and we'll talk about it really quick before I get off. But something that we do every week, got to talk about that and the three real McCoys. And listen, you know that I haven't been shy of leaving Canes out of it, out of the top three or the three, because they just what was there to talk about, right? But I have a feeling that we're going to see three of them in this week's Real McCoys.
We're holstered and ready to unleash this week's Real McCoys. Time to hand out awards for this week's MVPs for the Miami Hurricanes. The Real McCoys.
We talk about what it takes to play like a Cane, be a Cane, have that attitude, show that Cane metal, especially this week. You want to know who played like that when it was called upon and who should have had a game-winning touchdown catch? None other than number 18, local product from Miami Northwestern Senior High School. Do it all, tie it in, H-back, Swiss Army knife, call him whatever you want. He reminds me a lot of Chris Herndon. Remember back in the day, was backing up David Njoku, number 23, went on to have a nice little couple seasons with the Jets. Khalil Brantley was headhunting on Saturday. And I mean, oh my God, go back and watch the tape. He was cracking helmets. And he was letting the defense know, I'm here. And we're going to need that on Saturday. We're going to need that because FSU is going to come to play. They want to kick Miami's ass. And if you didn't know that, you haven't been paying attention, okay? Because last year, Miami was supposed to kick their ass. They didn't. This year, they get off to a hot start, then start to fizzle, while Miami hasn't looked hot. And Miami has all the preseason hype like they always do. They want to come down and beat Miami's ass. And again, like I said, 2 years ago, they got, I don't even want to use the word humbled. They should have stayed home, okay? So FSU is going to come down here and they're going to want to put some points. Remember, they got guys from down here as well. So this is somewhat of a homecoming for them as well. This is Miami's homecoming game, guys. And you know what it's like when you schedule a team for homecoming. It's supposed to be a sorry team that you beat, okay? Virginia Tech scheduled Miami for their homecoming. They thought we were sorry. I mean, not that we're sorry. I'm not going to get into that. But you know what I'm trying to say. Miami ended up winning that game. So, Khalil Brantley, Real McCoy, number 3. Real McCoy, number 2.
Real McCoy.
My bad. I'm still getting used to it. Andy Borregales. I mean, do I need to say anything else? Won the game pretty much. For talk about clutch and trying to ice him, that didn't work. Okay, Jose, big brother Jose, was tweeting throughout the game. Keep icing him. Keep calling timeouts. It's not gonna work. Andy Borregales was as cool as the other side of the pillow, as the late great Stuart Scott would say. All right. coming through clutch, man. And you want to know what? He wasn't going to let it happen 2 years in a row against Virginia. If you remember last year when Manny put him in a position that he shouldn't have been in. Granted, Andy should have made the kick last year against UVA on that Thursday night. Should have made the kick because it was a makeable kick. It's a kick that he makes 10 out of 10 times in his sleep. But Manny should not have sent him out there. It was like 4th and inches or something like that. And it was 30 seconds left on the clock. I think Miami still had a timeout or two in their back pocket. Shouldn't have happened. Miami was moving the ball. And I had a bad feeling about it as soon as they started trotting him out there. As a matter of fact, when the ball was marked short of the line of scrimmage of the first down to gain, I said to myself, don't send out this kicking unit. Don't send it. And he did it, and Miami loses, and the rest is history. But Andy Borregales, Real McCoy, number 2.
Real McCoy.
And you want to know what? This is not going to go well for most people, okay? For a lot of Canes fans. But you know what, man? I got to give it to Jake. I got to give it to Jake, and Sean is probably back there probably saying, what the hell are you talking about, Mike? Because Sean, he goes over to walk-ons. He's there with us, and he's watching the game, and we're ordering food, and we're talking, and Sean was dogging him. I got to say, Sean was dogging. So was O. You guys know. You hear what he says. But Sean was like, oh, my God, like, damn, this is not cool. But, hey, look, man, scored the winning play of the game, all right? And I said on air, hey, he won the game. Sean very, very correctly says, Mike, he didn't lose the game. So for making your first start in the ACC, first start on the road, and let's face it, you weren't looking your best. You didn't throw an interception, but you lose the game. How about that, Sean? Jake Garcia, Real McCoy, number 1.
Real McCoy.
I get that. I take that back. Real McCoy 1A. Henry Parrish is the number 1 Real McCoy that game. Because, come on, man. 24 carries, $113. And did he score a touchdown? I can't remember if he did. I think he did. No, he did. Nobody scored a touchdown. What am I talking about? Okay. But he ran hard, and they're going to need that this week, guys. I'm telling you, 4.5 yards per carry. That's where the game's going to be won. Time of possession, get off the field on 3rd down, and contain Jordan Travis as much as you can. Okay, keep him inside that pocket because all hell's going to break loose if he gets to run like a goddamn cheetah, gazelle, whatever you want. But ladies and gentlemen, it's FSU week. Get those Twitter fingers working. Give them hell. If you're going to the game, great. If you're not, join us at Walk-Ons. Kickoff is at 7:30. We'll be starting the broadcast live at 5:30 out west on Kendall Drive. I believe it's like 90th and 162nd Avenue. Great food. Awesome atmosphere. Going to be packed. There's going to be a nice contingent of FSU fans there. Might be 50-50. Hell, that game might be 50-50 FSU fans. So if you're down south, go ahead, visit us. Come say hi. We're by the entrance as soon as you walk in. And go Canes, man.
You've been listening to the Miami Hurricanes Watch with host Mike McCoy on the Sports Talk 305 network. The Watch is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe. Please subscribe to the Big O Radio Show on most platforms. Thank you for supporting the Miami Hurricanes Watch. Have a great night, Canes fans.